Hari Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Swami Jyotiirmayananda Society, a journey to self-realization. Please subscribe for the mystical meanings and to enjoy daily satsang with us. We are currently exploring the book Yoga Essays for Self-Improvement. It's a fantastic book with very many deep topics to discuss for our daily lives, authored by Swami Jyotiirmayananda ji, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. So, in today's satsang, we will be covering the secrets of divine worship. Spiritual movement consists in overstepping the confines of the ego sense and its ramifications. So, as you know, ego is our greatest obstacle on the spiritual path. Its basis lies in a deep rooted understanding that one must bring about the cessation of false individuality and become one with the universal self. So, that is the goal from multiplicity going back into the universal oneness. Even if an aspirant's movement is partial and imperfect, and he is striving to bring about the removal of the ego sense, striving to remove his assertions of mine and thine, then he is indeed an advanced aspirant. So, this is how you judge how far you have come on the spiritual path, and that is by trying to see how much your consciousness has expanded, how inclusive you have become with everybody and your teachings and your knowledge. So, this is the foundation of the superstructure of yoga in its advanced form. Lord Krishna states in the Gita that there are four types of devotees. Artha are those who are in distress. So, when they are in pain, um, they reach out to God. The second are Jigyasu, those who are seeking knowledge. They like satsanga, they want to understand who am I, what is my body, why am I here, those kind of things. And the third are Artharthi, those who seek meaning and purpose in life and thereby allow themselves to flow out of the little self through the selfless service of humanity. Artharthi also means resources, so asking God for prosperity, and then they serve God that way. And finally, the Jnani, these are those illumined sages who are established in God and have attained perfection in the yogic movement. The same theme is expressed in the Bible also in the words of Jesus Christ, where he says, "Ask and it shall be given to you, seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you." Ask is the language of the heart. It is Artha Bhakti, a form of devotion characterized by feeling. A devotee prays to God, sheds tears to acquire a glimpse of the divine glory, and expresses his inner restlessness for union with God in various ways. There are others who seek the divine self. They adopt the path of knowledge, the path of unraveling the mysteries of creation, and in this pursuit are even willing to give up their lives. They have tasted the unique joy of rational fulfillment, which far surpasses the pleasures of the senses. And finally, there are those who knock, who engage themselves in dynamic action in order to promote harmony and peace in the world. They are men of resolute will and dynamic action. They do not work for the comfort and pleasure of their own little selves, but rather to alleviate sufferings in the lives of others. Each of these three is an advanced aspirant on the path leading to spiritual enlightenment. Each is striving to melt the differences that exist between his little individuality and the universal self. However, each movement alone is one sided and limited. But one who is a jnani, who is wise, combines all three in his personality and is indeed the best worshipper of the Supreme Self. A truly ideal person must be in the possession of a harmonious blend of heart, head, and hand. He is indeed a highly perfected personality who worships God through the language of the heart by expression of divine sentiments, through the language of the head by developing subtle and intuitive reason, and through the language of the hand by possessing a dynamic will to serve humanity selflessly. This indeed is the ideal presented by every religion of the world, and it is the ideal towards each person that they must strive for. But when a person is unable to flow out of his little ego self, he has not understood religion in the true sense. He turns to God through sakamya bhakti, meaning devotion with self interest, personal interest. Such a person seeks divine grace for a perishable gain in this transient world. Although limited, even this form of worship is auspicious, because though through it the mind will gradually be led to the source of all objects and attainments, the self. So even from that angle, it is better than not doing worship at all. So Lord Krishna says in Gita chapter 7 that many people are unable to worship him because their intellects are clouded by ignorance. They therefore turn to many gods, implying they keep their minds burdened with the illusion of multiplicity. It implies that due to the dullness of intellect, they do not aspire to eradicate the ego sense or the sense of individuality. They do not aspire to become one with the Supreme Self. Yet, through the worship of many gods, it is the one God who fulfills their needs and responds to their prayers. It is He who is the reality behind all. Here, it is to be understood that it is not the external modes of worship that make a person a worshipper of many gods, but his inner conviction of the reality of the multiplicity of objects. Even though a person may repeat only the name of Krishna or only the name of Jesus, turning away from all other forms of divinity and asserting that he is the worshipper of only one God, but if he is deeply attached to his ego self, he is in reality the worshipper of many gods. Meaning he's running after multiplicity, multiple things, his own ego. On the other hand, one who has set before himself the project of outstepping the ego sense, although he may recite the name of Krishna today, Shiva tomorrow, and offer prayers to the goddess on the third day, he is in reality the worshipper of one God, because these are different images of the same one God. He understands the deeper meaning. He who worships many gods through numerous desires is like a person who worships a branch that is going to yield a mango fruit. Ignoring the roots of the tree, he would nourish and give credit to the branch. He is ignorant of the fact that it is the roots of the one tree that are responsible for all the fruits. So you water the roots, you don't water the branch, you don't water the leaves. Those who worship many gods cannot attain the highest goal, which is freedom from the world process. The rewards of such worship are transient. Among these worshippers, there are those who are tamasic, who pray to revenge upon or to harm others, those who are rajasic, who worship in order to acquire fame, name, and power. But the worship of those who have turned to the one true God is sattvic, pure. They worship to develop virtuous qualities and to live a life of simplicity and peace. They are steeped in a profounder level of religion, and they live and move in God. When the head, heart, and hand are all directed towards God. The perfected sage sees the divine glory everywhere. He sees the light of God blazing through the sun, the bliss of God beaming through the moon. He sees the grace of God blowing through the breeze, and wherever he turns his eyes, he is thrilled to behold a glimpse of the Supreme Beloved. With this, we conclude our satsang for today. In tomorrow's satsang, we will discuss the practice of equal vision. Hari Om Tat Sat.